Today, I am thrilled to be joined by a dear friend, a colleague, and that is the brilliant Dr. Darren Weissman. Hi, Darren.
Hey, Marci, I'm so grateful to be here with you.
What do you find are kind of the main things that keep people from living in a life of flow and joy and ease?
3 words: I'm not enough. Not recognizing one's self-worth or value or esteem is a core program that affects us in such profound ways.
Lots of people have tried to get rid of their limiting beliefs. What is it about what you've developed? Why does it work?
Rather than it being about getting rid of a core limiting belief, it's not about getting rid of anything. No one's broken. This is about understanding the nature of the mind, and there's a lot to it. We can go into many different aspects of it.
Can people feel that they're moving forward in their life and not have that fear be kind of nagging at them all the time?
Fear will evolve, but fear will always be there on one level or another. We need fear, and let's think about that actually.
You are not meant to struggle. You are meant to live in the miracle zone. I'm Marci Shimoff, #1 New York Times bestselling author and the founder of Your Year of Miracles. And after many decades of exploring the true source of happiness and success, I have found one thing. When you align with the energy of miracles, your life flows with joy and grace. Welcome to Living in the Miracle Zone. And today I am thrilled to be joined by a dear friend, a colleague, someone I have loved working with myself, who's been a great ally in my life, and that is the brilliant Dr. Darren Weissman. Hi, Darren.
Hey, Marci, I'm so grateful to be here with you.
I always love getting to be with you, and I'm so looking forward to this conversation.
Me too.
And so, Darren, let me tell people a little bit about you and your background, and then we'll just dive right in. So, Darren is a renowned chiropractic holistic physician. He is a visionary thinker, and he is a leader in consciousness. And he developed the Lifeline technique, which I have gotten to experience over the last year, a little more than a year, and it is amazing and powerful. It really helps people transform their emotional programs and unlock their healing potential in all ways. And that has certainly been my experience. It's been a life changer for me. And Darren has also written some best-selling books like The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, Awakening to the Secret Code of Your Mind, and The Heart of the Matter. And, you know, as I said, Darren, I'm so grateful to you because really your work is profound. It's life-changing. And you know, I've done a lot of things, and this is unique, and it really gets at things that have been kind of stuck for me in certain ways. And you are a very compassionate, present, authentic, true human being. And I love and appreciate you for that too.
I love and appreciate you, Marci. Seriously, you're one of my favorite people, and I'm so grateful that the universe has conspired and created our friendship, and what a blessing it is to now share our love and light with others so that they too can live in the miracle zone. So I'm so psyched to be here with you.
Truly. And I so appreciate how your commitment to life is really the same commitment that I have, and that is to help people live the most extraordinary, miraculous lives. And so I just want to start by hearing about your life. How did you come to live a miraculous life? I know you came from parents who had a challenging background. We share some similar DNA, and so maybe you could just share a little of your journey.
I'll go back to 1999. I had a engagement that had just broken up. I had ruptured my Achilles tendon for the second time within 3 months. And I was moving my office, and my contractor was not doing his contracting business, and I was about to go bankrupt. And then my grandmother passes away in my arms, and I turn my calendar, and it says, by an anonymous quote, "At the point of complete darkness is the beginning of light." And I read it because I was in such a depressed, I was in such a dark place. And it really was within 2 years of that time period in my life. And there was a lot of things that happened before that led me to be a chiropractor and an acupuncturist, kinesiologist. But at that moment, I knew that it couldn't be the same guy. It couldn't be the same Darren. I had to let go of something that I was afraid to let go of, yet holding on to it would destroy me. And so I woke up to this process that's called the Lifeline technique. I discovered a pattern that exists within each of us in the symptoms of our body and the stressful relationships or behaviors in our life. I discovered that there's a code and that we can decode it, that this is a code of the mind, and that we can learn to train our minds as much as we train our dogs. I just got a new puppy. We train our dogs oftentimes better than we train our minds. And if you don't train a dog, it's going to be a bad dog. You don't train a mind, it's going to be a bad mind. And it's going to affect us in really physically, emotionally, spiritually painful ways. And I woke up to the Lifeline technique, and I've been passionately in service of it since 2002. Sharing with people in 24 countries, over 24 countries around the world. I've trained thousands of people to get certified in the Lifeline and use it to create a new level of consciousness, to literally reprogram the memories that are caught in Groundhog Day, these patterns of emotion.
Maybe just share a little bit about how your life looks like now. Like how did your life shift when you started? So I get that you were your first guinea pig. You were the guinea pig of this.
Yeah.
You started experimenting it on yourself.
For sure.
How does your life look different now than it did before you?
Well, I'm a chiropractor. So I used to have bricks and mortar. I had a big clinic. I had a lot of doctors that were working with me. And, I was grinding it 12 hours a day. It was really intense. I work Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays now. I'm a dad to my 3 children, which I feel so grateful. I really feel blessed. Does it mean that my poop don't stink? Does it mean that I don't have pain? Of course I do. Everyone does. I just discovered a way that we can access what's beyond the veil of our conscious perception to get to that light, that joy, that beauty, that love that is the truth of who we are. But I love this quote. It's from the Talmud. We don't perceive truth. We perceive what we believe. Mm-hmm. And it helps us to literally unzip that fabric of that veil, unzip the fabric of consciousness, and write programs that directly can influence our cellular function, directly influence how we perceive something or someone, that ultimately influences biology, behavior, and what we attract, what we manifest in our life. The miracle zone. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've worked with thousands and thousands of people.
For sure.
And I imagine you found that there are certain recurring patterns that are most keeping people from living in the miracle zone. I'd just be curious, what do you find are kind of the main things that keep people from living in a life of flow and joy and ease and abundance and all of that good stuff?
3 words. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. That aspect of not recognizing one's self-worth or value or esteem or wisdom or power or beauty, judging the book by its cover, is a core program that affects us in such profound ways. There's aspects of trauma that live within us, early imprints, generational things that we inherit from our mothers and our fathers, things that are carried on in our lineage, generational patterns that will influence us as well. But to me, the core of like why somebody gets angry or why somebody gets afraid or why somebody is insecurely attached or anxiously attached is the essence of a limiting belief that says, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. If only I were more. That creates that riptide that is really painful. And everyone has it. Everyone has it. Everyone has it on one level or another. Everyone has it. And so what does it mean to create a relationship with this part that's broadcasting it? Because let's play a game real quick.
Okay.
As everyone's listening and as we're connecting right now, we're all human on this journey. We're on this journey of life. And as you tune into what it is about your life right now that is causing you to be in pain, whether it be the health of your body, whether it be a relationship with someone in your family, whether it be a financial situation, what you're doing for a job or not doing, just take a moment and connect to the trigger and the pain that's going on. And just let yourself just breathe and feel it. Just as you think about it, notice how that feels in your body. Notice immediately what happens to your body. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If you could choose to create your life, if you could design, if you could manifest, if you could blow out birthday candles and make a wish for the upcoming year, would you ever choose to create it where your body's diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, ulcerative colitis? Would you choose to create it where you've got high blood pressure, diabetes, rashes, chronic pain? Do you ever choose when you wake up and you're feeling anxious or like overwhelmed and pressure to succeed in the morning? You haven't even stepped out of your bed. Would you ever choose to create your life where you wake up that way, or you go to bed and you're feeling regret, woulda, coulda, shoulda, depression? Would you ever choose any, let alone all of those painful, stressful things?
No.
Hell
no.
Hell no. It's hell freaking no, not a chance. It's so stupid, but it's not stupid. It's not stupid when we're conscious of it. But when we're not conscious of it and we're in it, and it's humbling. It's really humbling. And so this is important because now we're going to bring something to the surface. When we're consciously aware of the pain that's going on in life, our conscious mind is the only mind that can choose. So when we're conscious of something that we would never choose, and no one's choosing cancer, no one's choosing a canker sore, no one's choosing anxiety, no one's choosing to feel shame, no one's choosing it, but we are all experiencing it on one level or another. Here's the thing. What isn't a choice or an action is a subconscious reaction. Mm-hmm. The pain, fear, and stress of our body and our life and of our behavior and our relationships, what we're attracting that's keeping us from the miracle zone, that's always present for us, it's always there, yet we don't perceive the truth. We perceive what we believe. This represents some core limiting belief within the subconscious mind.
So lots of people have tried to identify and get rid of their limiting beliefs in lots of different ways. What is it about what you've developed and created? Why does it work? I mean, I know you're using all these different points and saying specific things. Why does it work?
I would answer by reframing what you said in the sense that rather than it being about getting rid of a core limiting belief, it's not about getting rid of anything. No one's broken. We might feel broken. No one's lost. It might feel lost. This is about evolving beliefs into knowing. This is about understanding the nature of the mind, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it based upon how we go into this. We can go into many different aspects of it, but once we start to understand that we can create a relationship, rapport with our subconscious mind, we can entrain, meaning raise the vibration of the core limiting belief. And when the core limiting belief evolves versus revolve, instead of repeating the same thing again and again, that's what a revolution is. And evolution is it becomes the next greatest version of ourselves. Because inside of everyone is a dormant greatness. Inside of everyone is a power beyond measure. Marianne Williams said, our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. We get caught a part of ourself that is imprinted with limitation, victimization, negativity, stress, anxiety, fear. A part of ourself, when that part gets triggered, the brain and the body don't know the difference between that memory, reality, or now that we're using a technology like the lifeline technique, imagination, where we use our imagination to create a whole new consciousness. And like a seed, I planted a giant sunflower seeds in my yard this week. You plant a seed within the subconscious mind and you start to grow it. And there's different ways to grow what I like to call portals. Portals are the problems. Portals are the pain. The portal is the doorway to the next greatest version of yourself. It doesn't seem like, oh, wow, this is where I'm going to grow. Like, can I grow with somebody just like giving me a pat on the back saying, you're doing great, I love you? Sure, we can. However, the body can only be the body. So when an inflammatory aspect is triggered, we're going to express inflammation. We're going to have an itis experience. When an anxiety or a fear-based program gets triggered, it's going to show up in that freeze, fright, flight, or fight. It's going to show up in that unique neural network way. The body can only be the body. Our behavior and relationships can only be what they are. But when we find ourselves in the trigger of our personal life, of our professional life, of our family life. When we start to bridge that gap and we start to drive the mind versus being driven by it, and there's some specific sequences and patterns and steps that we can follow, we can evolve these programs that we think, oh, this is just the shit that I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of my life. It's not true. It's not true.
And, these days I notice that people are feeling particularly challenged, fearful. There's a lot of uncertainty. Some people might say, well, fear is just kind of normal. It comes with the territory or whatever. What's your experience of that? Can people kind of feel that they're moving forward in their life and not have that fear be kind of nagging at them all the time? I mean, how does Lifeline technique help with that?
Fear will evolve, but fear will always be there on one level or another. We need fear. Actually, fear is, like I brought up the concept of freeze, fright, flight, fight. That's what's called the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. That's what will take a mom whose child is being trapped by something and they lift up a car. We become superhuman when this autonomic nervous system gets activated. And let's think about that actually. What aspect of our mind is doing that superhuman power? Our subconscious. What if we could access that subconscious rather than in a place where we are, when we need it, thank goodness it's there. However, what if you could access that same power that causes us to be superhuman, activates the memory to remember the most granular things? What if you could use this proactively? What if you could future pace yourself and implant visions and the dream of your life, of your best life, of your miracle life? What if you could? And the reality is you can. I mean, I've done over 100,000 sessions with people, and I've worked with, genuinely, I've worked with situations which I never learned in school was possible. I never read it in a textbook. I've written the textbooks about it now because it wasn't something, and I've been doing this for 23 years now. So I've been in the game for a while. And I'm still in it. And now more than ever, wow, we live in a world that is people are going through a lot on so many levels, and what it means to be able to access the uncertainty. Uncertainty is part of life. Uncertainty is a part of life. And the aspect of uncertainty, what makes it tough is that a part of ourself doubts that we can move through the uncertainty. And so now if we look at, well, what is that part? Would you ever choose to create your life a day or a moment where you're doubting if you could move through uncertainty? Hell no. What does that mean? The doubt is a reactive pattern. So if you could choose in the face of uncertainty, and we all have it, everyone listening has things that they have uncertainty within their life. Take your hand like this. This means I love you in American Sign Language. Put it over your heart and slow down and take a breath. Because inside of your heart is a light, and it's brighter than the sun. It's your highest self.
For those who are listening rather than watching, can you just describe what position you put your hand in?
If you were going to give me a high five, right, and you open up all your fingers and you just bent your middle finger and ring finger down, that would keep your thumb, index, and pinky extended. This means I love you in American Sign Language. This is used universally around the world for people who are deaf to express I love you to another person. So if you take that hand and you bring it over the center of your chest and you connect with your heart, because of inside of your heart, as much as you're having uncertainty and doubt and anxiety and anger and overwhelm and pressure in your life, go deeper than that. Accept that, because that's where you are right now. It's okay. And breathe and connect to the light within you. And I'm gonna ask you to ask yourself this question. Ask your heart this question. Heart, in the face of uncertainty, what do you desire to feel? In the face of uncertainty, what do you desire to feel? Like my heart just said peace. My heart just said peace. What did your heart say, Marci?
My heart said ease and love.
Ease and love. So now, because we understand that the subconscious mind's like a dog, if you train it, it will follow you. If you give it treats, it will keep coming back. So to activate the subconscious mind on a higher level, even though we're not there yet, we're about to plant a seed that gets us there. We set our intention as if we're already there. That's a rule. We focus where we're going as if we're already there. So if you were already there with ease and what?
Love.
Ease and love. You could say, I am ease and love. Go ahead and say that out loud 3 times.
I am ease and love. I am ease and love. I am ease and love.
And everyone who's listening, say your I am out loud 3 times. I'm going to say, I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. That's the only focus right now. And from this only focus, we want to create a new chemical reaction inside. We want to spark a new synapse within our neural network. And the way we do this is through our imagination. And I want you to answer this out loud. Are you open, ready, and willing to evolve your uncertainty story? Are you open, ready, and willing to evolve your uncertainty story?
I'm going to say yes. I'll say that on behalf of everybody listening. Now, what if somebody's listening says no?
Well, then they're not ready to change.
Okay.
And that's okay. Whenever you're ready to change, then you're going to need to use your imagination now, because your imagination can take you to places that right now you're not able to see.
You know, one of my very favorite quotes of all time was Einstein. Quote, imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions.
That's right. And it is life's coming attraction. And I want you to imagine right now that the dream has come true. And in the face of uncertainty, here I am. I am ease and love. And everything about your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your family, your friends, your impact and ripple in the world, ease and love. I'm imagining I am peace. In the face of uncertainty, I am peace. How do I feel? I feel immediately confident. I feel this feeling that I call confident. So I am peace, feeling confident. As you imagine yourself, I am ease, feeling love. Marci, how does it feel to imagine you're living the dream?
I am ease and love, feeling divine grace.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Now check this out. Feel the divine grace right now. Notice the feeling of it. Yeah. I'm curious, where do you feel it?
Well, actually, I feel it in my whole being, like my hands and feet, and it's sort of a circle all around me and in my heart.
You know, this is really important for you and for everybody. Do you know what that feeling all around you of divine grace is? Do you know what that feeling is?
The toric field? I don't know. Tell me.
It is, but even more practical, it's medicine.
Oh.
It is your cells producing a chemical reaction that give you this divine grace feeling. See, when we take a pharmaceutical, when we take a medicine, and that has an impact on our body, will change how we feel based upon taking a pharmaceutical medication. This is medicine because we use our mind as a tool versus our mind in default becomes a tormentor. Because we use our mind as a tool, we create what's called mind medicine. This is the beginning of a new world. We're not yet in the world. We still have situations in our life that create uncertainty and doubt and yet that feeling of that divine grace, that feeling is the beginning of a new world. And now from here, there are steps that we can use within this Lifeline Technique flowchart that would guide us to create transformation in the present, in the past, in the future, with our beliefs, with our body. And there's all kinds of ways that we can future pace and do all kinds of things that allow for us as individuals, and I work with groups as well, allow us as groups to create real, meaningful, sustainable transformation.
Well, Darren, hallelujah, because that is what we want. That's what people need these days. That's what we want, is real transformation. I think it's the time on the planet for us to be living the lives that we can imagine. You know, I think everybody can, anybody who's here, anybody who's listening to our conversation has the awareness of a life that is perhaps even more true and aligned for them. And this is what I love about the Lifeline Technique, is that it is actually a technology that helps make that manifest.
Yeah, it is.
You are amazing. Go ahead.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you. In love and gratitude. That's what Greg Braden, I love him so much. Greg Braden's like, Darren, you've created a technology. and that something that is reproducible, something that you can teach, something that you can follow in a step-by-step manner, because life has a lot going on. We all have a lot going on. Just even keeping track of like keeping your refrigerator going and your laundry and taxes and keeping your car going and insurances and I got to check on my mom, my sister, my brother, and my neighbor and all these different things. There's so much happening. I got to feed my dog and all the things that are happening in our world. It's important to have an understanding that there are cycles and rhythms, and we look for them as human beings naturally, patterns. Winter, spring, summer, fall. I mean, there's patterns that exist within the mind body, within the mind relationships, and the barefoot doctors of Chinese medicine, which I'm an acupuncturist, aspects of the early pioneers of chiropractic, the developers of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, Richard Bandler, John Grinder, Virginia Satir, Milton Erickson, all these incredible people, Francine Shapiro, the developer of EMDR, all of these things are a part of the Lifeline technique. It's an amalgamation of systems that make a system of its own. It's a caterpillar that became a butterfly that a month after waking up to the Lifeline technique, this flow chart, June 17th, 2002, I wrote out that flow chart, and it was just and I've been passionately sharing it ever since. But a month after, I was talking with my buddy, Dr. Tom Bain, and he is a functional medicine guru. And I said, Tom, you've got a dark field microscope, a live blood cell microscopy, just like the microscope that Masaru Emoto used to evaluate water and consciousness. I said, I got an idea. Let's see if this works. You take someone's blood before, I'll do a Lifeline session, and then take their blood after. Let's see if it has a difference, because blood is mostly water. So let's see if it has an impact. So we worked with this guy with hepatitis C. We took his blood. His blood was a mess. It was just sticky and it was a mess. I did a Lifeline session. 40 minutes later, we took his blood, and it had transformed so much. Tom and I, our jaw was on the ground. We're like, oh my goodness, there's no way that this has happened. So then we started to have every Tuesday night, people would come into our office, and we would do sessions in front of people where we would take their blood. We'd do a session, take their blood. And then at that point, I'm like, wow, I can't keep this to myself. I've got to share this. And I didn't think I was going to be an author. And then I'm like, I've got to write about this. And I had so many notes on it already from my previous studies. But there are patterns that exist within water, within cells, within memory, within thought, within intention and vision, that when we start to recognize that, and it's cliche, but it's not, when we start to recognize that life is happening for us rather than to us, and we're curious to look at the symptoms and stressors and patterns of pain that are going on in our body and life, then we can join the dialogue that the subconscious mind is attempting to awaken our greatness. We can join it, and we can really lean in and create momentum. Am I at a place where I stop and live happily ever after? No, I am continually growing and evolving and learning and curious and passionate about becoming the next greatest version, because the next greatest version is always emerging in any and every given moment.
Well, Darren, I am so grateful that you came up with this technique so that I could benefit from it 23 years after you developed it. It really has been hugely, hugely helpful for me. And I'm so excited. I know you've got a training coming up. It's on personal, professional, family, and life mastery.
Yeah.
It starts at the beginning of June. And we're going to have the link for that in the show notes. And I'm very excited about that. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a 10-week online program that allows each of us, and I participate every time I lead it, and it's why I'm living the life that I'm living now. So I'm so excited every time I teach it. 3 weeks are about your personal life, your habits, your mindset, how you organize your life, how you tap into your intuition, how you make decisions. 3 weeks are about professional, wealth, mission, vision, what you do for a living or a loving. 3 weeks are about family you were in, that you come from, your legacy, intimacy, relationship, partnership. And we go into what's working and, more importantly, what's not working. And then we create a vision, we write it out. And then I guide the group through, after the third week of personal, I guide the group through transforming the subconscious programs with their personal life, professional, and then family. And then in the 10th week, we integrate them all together and we have the whole kumbaya. So we create an ultimate vision. And I tell you, people are married to their loves of their life. People have gone from, struggling and suffering in their business to really killing it in life and really loving what they're doing and making a difference and making a real great monetary return as a result. People have shifted addictions and transform all kinds of things. It's a great program. It's an online program. It's self-paced, but it's also led because we get together once a week and there's coursework in between that is really phenomenal.
Well, if any of that sings to people listening today, I say go check it out. You can also find out more about Darren at thelifelineCenter.com, thelifelineCenter.com. And I just, again, infinite love and gratitude to you for all that you have done in my life.
Thank you so much, Marci. Thank you for being such a bright light in the world and giving people this platform to learn and to grow and to continue to, transform on this miraculous journey of life, because we are all healing from something and we all have our own stories, and you help people to really discover that miracle zone. And I'm grateful that I could add my 2 cents to it. Really, I'm so honored to have you as a friend.
Way more than 2 cents. Life-changing material. And I really appreciate that you and I really sense, and I think everybody here senses, that we are here for a most miraculous and magnificent life. And so, Darren, I'm going to end with a quote. And the quote is from none other than Dr. Darren Weissman, who said, "Symptoms and stress are not a problem. Rather, they are a portal into the next greatest version of yourself." What a beautiful way to look at life. This is not here against me. This is here for me. It's my portal into the next greatest version, whatever challenges people are facing. And thank you, Darren. I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you so much, Marci.
Yeah. And I really have to say, even though those of you who are watching or listening to this, I may not know your name, I may not know your face, but I can feel you. I really love the energy that you bring to these conversations, all of our listeners. So thank you for being here and joining us. And I know that if you're drawn to this conversation, it's not by accident. Something in you is saying a big yes to living more fully in the miracle zone. So I hope that you are feeling uplifted and inspired and more aligned with this energy of miracles. So if this touched you in some way, please share it with someone you love. And also remember, you can download our free gift to you, which is our ebook, Manifest a Life of Miracles, 4 Steps to Living in the Miracle Zone. You can get that at themiraclezonebook.com. And please remember and acknowledge this. Miracles aren't reserved for just the lucky few. They are meant for you and for me and for all of us. So may we all live more and more in the miracle zone, and I'm sending you so much love. Until next time.